Good morning, welcome to Kayak Fishing Cornwall. I'm at Porthoustock today. This is going to be my first trip out of Porthoustock this year. So I'm looking for pollock and mackerel because my freezers run empty. We've got an ebb tide, it's quite a big tide, and the wind's going to spin around and pick up. So we're going to end up around 9-10 o'clock with wind against tide. So we might get some chop, but it's absolutely flat here at the moment. Even with a little bit of windy chop, we'd probably be able to fish all right. I've got my friend Andy with me today, he's got his hands on a little electric motor powered kayak. So we're going to give that a spin. So we're not going to go off to the right over the main reef because we don't want to go too far on his maiden voyage of that. And like I said, the tides are pretty big, and we're expecting the conditions to worsen. And when the tide ebbs, it flows across in this direction, and I don't want to be fighting those currents coming back up here. So we're going to head out to the reef on the left, fish some lures. I've got mackerel feathers with me today, so if there's any mackerel about, if there's any shoals of anything, well, they're little tiny sabikis, so even if it's sand eels or herring, I should be able to pick them up. So I'll have a go at that if they're there. If not, we'll just be lures and lures looking for pollock. Yeah, let's get on with it. Very excited today. Beautiful sunrise. Yeah, clouds are nice and fluffy. It's just beautiful. Very, very excited to be back at Porthoustock, first time this year. Right, we're at one of my favourite spots, my favourite little marks. We're going to have a drift over it just to see what way we're drifting. I get this lure down there because I'm marking fish, and they're good marks too. Savage gear sand eel in white, Penn spin 10 to 40, Akios spyro 4000, £20 braid, £20 leader. Let's go. I can see what way we're drifting. That lure's gone right down to some fish. This is going to be a short drift because we're moving pretty quick. The water's dead clear, actually. Yeah, we're moving really fast here, Andy. Yeah, we might have to bust out the big lures. But I'm marking fish all over this. Yeah, I don't think this lure's going to cut it. We're drifting nearly a knot and a half, so we're going to spend a lot of time pedalling. Right, got a bigger lure on. We know we've got wind and tide together, so it's quite a fast drift going on. So I've upped my Savage gear sand eel to 64 grams. And we've gone a bit further up because it's so fast. We've gone a bit further up to make sure we get a little bit more time over the ground that should have fish on it. Right, there we go. We're in 15 meters of water. Yeah, marking fish. Let's hope white's the colour. Usually is. I know there's fish there. If they don't take this big white eel, I might go to something else. See how Andy gets on. You got one? You got a proper fish? Pollock! Right, Andy just had a nice little pollock on the khaki, so I've flipped over to my big khaki sand eel. We'll give a drift with that. We've marked a lot of fish actually coming over this way, so hopefully we can drift back directly over the route we've just come, straight through all those marks. We'll see. I'm doing the usual pollock fishing tactic, which is to just drop your lure right to the bottom and slowly reel it up about halfway. So I'm reeling it up about 10 turns here. That's a bite. That's a fish. Yep. Fish. That's a heavy fish. Yeah. That's a good fish. That's the best bend I've had this year. Oh, I might have to use my new net too that Father Christmas got me. As recommended by someone in one of my comments. Loads of fish marking here, Andy. Yeah. This is decent fish as well, I think. I think we'll have one for the freezer. Not fighting that hard. Just heavy. Yes, Savage gear net. Someone recommended. It's really nice actually. Well, good. Yeah, that's a lovely fish. It's a beauty.
Wow.
Yeah, beast. Yeah, we're off that mark. I'll get this one sorted out and we'll get back over that. Yeah, wow. Let's get you up. Get you up for a good look. Okay, folks. Got that. Lovely fish. Best one I've had this year. I've only had 3. So that ain't difficult, but that's a nice one. I'm afraid he'll be coming home for dinner. Right, just drifting, pedalling back over where we drifted. You can see now starting to come onto the screen at the bottom here. We've got some marks. Now they're obviously going to be fish. Okay, this is what we're looking for when we're pedalling around. Marks like this. Indicating fish on the bottom there, or fish right close to the bottom. What you'll find though, as the tide, as you progress through the tide, is the fish will move around the reef to the place that offers them the most advantage, so the least energy spent for the most potential gain. So somewhere where they can ambush passing bait fish with minimal energy, and you know, instinct, and it's their environment, so they know where those places are and they travel to them. So you know, good fishermen figure that out over a period of time, and even better fishermen can look at something and anticipate that rather than just gaining it by trial and error. Right, we've moved a little bit because I wasn't marking so many fish. I've come on sort of down tide side of a big long feature that runs along here. Slightly shallower water. The conditions are lovely, actually. Way better than, I mean, I thought it would be okay, but it's really nice. It's like flat, there's glassy areas. Yeah, if the drift wasn't quite so quick, it would be perfect. Right, I've altered my drift again slightly. I suppose the good thing about having a fast drift is you get to cover lots of ground, which helps you find the fish. If you know, if you don't just land straight on them, you've got to cover ground to find where they are. Right, the speed of the drift is making this hard work today. We're, you know, pedaling as much as we're drifting. and having to use big lures to get to the bottom. Which, you know, isn't great if the fish don't want something big. I didn't bring a lot of tackle with me, so I don't know if I could rig up a rig with a smaller lure and a separate weight on it. Right, I'm going to have, there's plenty of stacks of fish. I'm going to have a drift here and see if I can pick anything up with this. Oh, there's tons of fish there. Drop that lure straight into them. I think I'd be doing better on a smaller lure, but like I said, I've not brought the tackle to rig a smaller lure. Well, I might be able to cobble something together, so I will have a go at that. If I can't pick anything out of this load of fish here on this lure, I think I'll have to change tactics. Well, looks like I found the fish. There's loads down there. I'm going to put a little marker in there. Yeah, it's frustrating when you're dragging you can mark tons and tons of fish and dragging a lure through them and not getting it. Right, I've managed to cobble together enough tackle to rig up a weighted rig with a small lure on it, so we'll see if that's going to make a difference. Here I've just got a 4 5 ounce lead, a boom, tangled up, like a 5 foot trace onto a little pink sand eel. I marked a load of fish here. Oh, hang on. Would you believe that I just dropped that one in there just to sort of as a sleeper rod? Nicked the idea off another kayak fishing YouTube guy, and I had a fish on that then, and it dropped it. It's annoying. Right, let's see. I'm going to change that. The amount of fish I've pulled that through. If that was what they wanted to eat, they would have ate it. Oh, okay. There's that predicted chop, and that is all due to the change of the wind from being with the tide to against the tide. Right, Andy's heading in. I don't blame him, it's hard work out here and the fish aren't exactly cooperating, so I'm going to have a couple more drifts. I mean, I've got what I wanted, which was a fish for the freezer and to get out on the water on a lovely day, so you know, I'm happy with what I've got. A couple more would be nice, obviously. Never catch enough fish, can you? So I'm back out to where we started. I might run 1 or 2 short drifts on this, and if nothing shows up, I'll call it a day, and I'll take that fish back and fillet it and skin it, get it ready for the table. That's fishing there, isn't it? You know, there's plenty of fish down there. I can see them on the sounder, but they're not at that, obviously not at that stage of the tide where they're thinking, right, it's dinner time. They're just sort of loitering, I think. There's been one or two that are hungry, but the majority of them just aren't really interested. Yeah, so many fish on the sounder. I thought I was going to get somewhere with that little, swapping it out to a little lure, but didn't have so much of a bite on that. I tried a blue one, a pink one, a dark one. Oh, that was a hit. That is a hit. That's a fish. It's a fish that, yeah. Oh, that's not too bad. Yeah. That's not bad at all. Lots of fish marking here. It's always the way. Seems to be. Andy heads in, all of a sudden I managed to land on a few fish. And that's not a bad one. That's all. Yes. Okay. Yes, a decent one. Come on. Now I know earlier I said I was going to do different stuff, but I wanted to put a bend in the rod today, and I wanted to get some fish for the freezer, so I've come to my trusty spots to do that. And I still fully intend to, you know, do what I said. Do some different methods, fish with bait, stuff like that. But the conditions today were a little bit sketchy. I didn't want to come all loaded out with gear in case I got here and, you know, it was a no-go. Did bring some feathers in case I saw any shoals or anything, but yeah, no, I literally haven't seen one shoal of what looks like bait fish. That's a stonking great fish. Look at that. Sweet. Right, I'll probably drift this again. Whoa. That's a nice one. There we go. Nice fish. Again, do that. Right, made a rookie mistake then, didn't I? I was right in the sun. So, I'll just show you that one again. There it is. Imagine that's 5 or so. I thought £5. Nice one. Okay, I'm heading back in. I've had a couple of decent pollock that I will take home and prep for the table. So I'm happy with that. Good old bend in the rod. Best, well, biggest fish I've had this year. I've not managed to get out that much, but hopefully conditions will change. I've got some time off coming soon, so fingers crossed for the weather for that, and I'll get out and see what I can catch. Still got to get myself a gilt head, and there's lots of other places I'd like to do launching videos from, you know, showing you where the site is, what it's like, what facilities there are, parking, slipways, what you're likely to catch in the area, all that kind of thing. So if you're interested in that and you like your kayak fishing, give us a like and a subscribe. It'd be greatly appreciated. I could see Andy pulling his kayak up the beach. I was hoping to get back in time to give him a hand, but you know, it's like one more cast, one more drift. Hopefully I should be there to help him lift it onto his car. Right, I'll see you next time.